Open that up. And here we go. So basically what this lab is if we look at it, we're going to write a program that calculates yearly and monthly salary for a job given the hourly wage of the employee. This is straight out of the Zybooks. Um, so there's certain assumptions here. We assume that the employee is going to work 40 hours a week, just every week. And we assume that the employee works 50 weeks out of the year because they take 2 weeks off. Now, I understand that, this is not what everybody necessarily does, but this is just how the problem is defined, right? So the idea is that, we have the problem statement, which uh, details the exact way this is supposed to work. So we don't have to have any opinions about whether this is right or wrong. So the problem statement, which we will basically implement. So we don't, it doesn't matter if we, think that this isn't a great way. So it doesn't matter if we don't think that this is the best way to do this, basically. Uh, the way we describe it is the way that we will do it. So yeah, we just program to the specification, right? So they told us how they want it done, and then we copy that. So that's the idea behind these. So we look at this and we see employee works 40 hours a week every week. That's one thing we have. And the second thing we have is the employee works 50 weeks out of the year. And then we have a formula basically for how we are going to calculate their salary. So um, to calculate yearly salary, we should multiply the hourly wage by the number of hours per week, multiplied by the number of weeks in a year. And then to calculate the monthly salary, we calculate the yearly salary, and then we divide by 50, or sorry, by 12 for monthly salary. So that's what we're going to do. So then the actual lab 3 here kind of just explains all of the steps. So let's go ahead and do this. So this is going to be, I guess, actually pretty short here. So should we do it in Eclipse? I'm going to do it in Eclipse, and the reason I want to do this in Eclipse actually is because of somebody found an error, not an error, but somebody had an unusual problem with Eclipse today. And if you do it in Eclipse, then maybe you'll have the same problem and you can let me know. So I'm going to call this project Spring 23 Lab 3, and I am going to make sure that I do not have create module info.java selected. And then I'm going to, oops, just finish actually is all I want. And then down here under source, I'm going to right click, click on source, right click, new class. And my class can be called anything. I'm going to call it lab underscore 03. And I need to check the box for public static void main. And I get a blank project here. Okay. Now, what else we need to do is we need a little heading at the top with your name. So I'll copy that and I will put it up here. Of course, yours should have your name. Somebody did turn in one with my name on it, which I mean, I understand that. It makes some amount of sense because you're in my class, so it's maybe makes sense to have my name on it. But that's generally where you will put your name. And now we can get started. So, blank project, let's look at it. So scroll back up here and it says, what are we supposed to do? So it says, write a program for lab 3 that does, and the first thing we need to do is read the hourly rate from the user from the keyboard, and I suggest a variable. So these variables here, double hourly rate, double yearly salary, and double monthly salary, those are just suggestions. You don't have to use them, but they're suggestions. And also, even though they're listed in 3 steps, I can go ahead and I can put them in my code here just all together, right? That's not unusual. So I've got my 3 double variables there, and let's see what we're actually supposed to do. So what we're supposed to do is read the hourly rate from the user from the keyboard. Now, I purposefully did not put all of the steps involved in order to read the hourly rate from the user from the keyboard, because you're supposed to be getting better at knowing what you have to do in order to do this on your own. So the steps to read the hourly rate from the user from the keyboard are going to be as follows. Let me just kind of make that smaller. Um, so the steps would be as follows. So the first thing we need to do, remember, is we have to add this import java.util.scanner up there. Another way you'll see that is Java util star, by the way, which just imports everything in there, but one or the other. So you do that to get started. That goes above your class. It can go below your comment here, but otherwise it's at the top. That's step 1. Step 2 is down inside of your main function, right? So we're inside the class and then inside the function, we need to set up the keyboard scanner, which we've done many times. So we'd say scanner, we give it a name, SCNR, if we're copying Zybooks, and it's equal to new scanner parentheses system.in capital on the system, right? So I've written a few lines now. So even though my function doesn't, or my code doesn't do much yet, I'm gonna save it here and I'm just gonna run it just to make sure I don't have any compilation problems. And it looks like everything happened fine. So, I did this right and I did this right and my variables are fine. Okay, so you need those 2 things done, Java util scanner and to create the scanner object. And then now we can actually do what it says. So I need to read in hourly rate from the user, right? That's what I need to do. So I put that in a comment. Um, and that's just to let anybody know who's reading this what I'm going to do. So to read the hourly rate in, I think that's what I'm doing, right? Yeah. To read the hourly rate in, I need to first tell the user that I want to read something, or sorry, back up. I need to tell the user what to do so they know that they're supposed to type in a number. So I would say maybe system.out.print. I can use print or print line. It doesn't matter. I'll use system.out print here. And in here, in quotes, I'm going to say enter the hourly, I'll say wage, colon space. Now the reason I'm putting a space on the end is because I used print, not print line, right? I used just regular print, which means I'm not going to go to another line at the end of this. So that means the user is going to be typing the number right at the end of this text. And so I put a space in there before the quote ends so that there's an extra space. After I do that, I need to actually read the number from the user. So we know how to do that as well. If we're trying to read it into hourly rate, then I need hourly rate is equal to, and to read a number from the keyboard, we do SCNR because that's what we called our scanner object, and then dot next double parentheses like this. We just wrote a few lines, so I should save this. I'll try to run it, and you see it says enter the hourly wage. If I click down here, um, by the way, when you click in this box, right, you kind of see the cursor showing up wherever, like wherever you kind of click, but the actual cursor is at the end here. So like even though you see the cursor in the middle, if I just start typing a number, like if I say 16 for $16 an hour, um, even though the cursor was previously over here, now it's at the end. So 16. I hit enter, and then it ends because I haven't written any other code yet. So what's next? So the next thing it says is perform the calculation to get the yearly salary. So I'll put that instruction here. That's just a comment for myself to know what I'm going to do. And it says perform the calculation to get the yearly salary. So the variable is called yearly salary. So I'll copy that and put it down here. And it should be equal to, well, this is where we do the math now. So we go read what we have. I'll look here. So it says, to calculate the yearly salary, you should multiply the hourly wage. Okay, so the hourly wage is called hourly rate. So multiply that by something, by the number of hours per week, which we said was 40. So we don't have to decide on that. It's 40. 40 times multiplied by the number of weeks in a year, which there's 52 weeks in the year, but we are assuming that the employee is only paid for 50 weeks out of the year. So I'm going to put a 50, not a 52. So 50 semicolon. And I'll do 50.0. All right. So that should be the correct yearly salary. Then we need to do, I think, the same thing because we're going to perform the calculation to get the monthly salary. Where are we? Perform the calculation to get the monthly salary. So monthly salary is monthly salary, and it is equal to, and looking here, oh, well, where? Hold on. Here, it says you should calculate, but you should calculate the yearly salary first and then divide by 12. So to get the average monthly salary, we're just going to take the yearly salary and divide by 12. So we just take yearly salary, put it there, and then divide by 12. Okay, and then that should be the correct calculation for the yearly salary. And lastly, we need to print this out on the screen for the user. All right, and then that's the last step. So there's several ways to do this. I'm going to do it twice actually, just to show you the difference. So if I do system.out. Let's say print ln, then the way this method works is, of course, we know how to use this. You just, in quotes, you put whatever text you want. So I would say the, um, what am I supposed to print on the screen, by the way? Oh, print the information out to the user in a nice way. So we've already done this. So, oh, okay. So let's just read the instructions here. For an hourly wage of blank, yearly salary, monthly salary. Okay, so let's just do the first part. First thing we're going to do is print the hourly wage. So over here, if I do, whoa, the, what am I writing? For the hourly wage, and and then I'll do a plus here. Close my quotes, put a plus for the hourly wage plus, and then I'm going to put hourly rate there. And then I can do, actually, that's probably all I want. Maybe I want like to print a colon. I don't know. Something like that. If I save this and I run it, uh, enter the hourly wage, I'll say like 21.25. Enter. Then right now I got this for the hourly wage 21.25. Um, that looks fine. I could put like a dollar sign here. And then if I run that again, I'll put 18. Then it says for the hourly wage 18, right? Now, something you will notice is that it says for the hourly wage 18.0, and that's not how we usually like to print money, right? We normally like to print money with two decimal points, two decimal places. And so I don't actually recommend that you use this system.out print line. You can use it, it's correct, but it's not printing the way I want this to look. So what I want to do is I'm going to rewrite this. So I'm going to rewrite this using the system.out.printf. And this is the one, this is the, I'm going to delete everything in there. Um, this method is a method that a student had trouble with today. Their Java compiler wouldn't compile it correctly. So if you get an error with this, you can let me know and I will try to fix it for you, or I'll try to help you. But the way we use printf is basically the same. So like I can copy this same text here and just put it inside here. System.out printf for the hourly wage of dollar sign. And right here, right after the dollar sign is where I want the money to go. So you put a placeholder. So %f is a placeholder for um, for the number you want to go in. So right now it says for the hourly wage %f, I'm going to put a colon, and then to make it go to a new line, I would want a \n. This is looking really complicated here, but the \n just means go to a new line. The colon is literally a colon. I can get rid of that if I want. And the %f is a placeholder where the number will be inserted. So right now it says for the hourly wage %f, and then after the quotes, I'll do a comma, and then I will put in my hourly rate, and then a semicolon. So we're going to print this twice now because this is just for illustration. So if I run this, it says enter the hourly wage, I'm going to put 18 in again. And you can see that this is now printing too many decimal places, right? More than we want. But the thing about using the printf, which prints formatted strings, is that you can change this little placeholder, the %f, and get exactly the number of places you want. So if you want 2 decimal places, you change the %f to %.2, and that will round to 2 decimal places. So if I run this again, and again, I'll put in 18 again, now you can see that it says for the hourly wage, 18.00. So the printf version of this is a little bit nicer because of that. So I'm going to get rid of the other version. You know, it's there in the video if you want it. So we printed out that. We got the hourly wage now. And then basically we just have 2 more things to print out, basically the same way, right? So just um, maybe for formatting, I will put a colon there actually. And then basically just copy this line 2 more times, and we just change what we're printing. So the first line is for the hourly wage, and then the second line should be the yearly salary, which I can just change this text to yearly salary, and then change the hourly rate to yearly salary. Is that what it's called? Where is it? Yeah. And then you change the last one to monthly salary and monthly salary, like that. So at that point, I should be printing all the stuff on the screen correctly. So if I run this and it asks me for my hourly wage now, I'm going to say 23, and we get this on the screen for the hourly wage, $23. Your yearly salary is $46,000, and your monthly salary is 38.33 and 33 cents. So that's the way that it's supposed to work, pretty much. Okay. And if you have trouble with the printfs, you can just use the older style of print or print line. Actually, that's not older. Printf is older, but I mean older for us in this class, the earlier material. Okay, so with that done, this is what you want to turn in. Let's look at the thing. So it says what to submit, your lab3 .java file with your code. Don't forget your name in the comment at the top. And then for 5 points, you need to submit a screenshot in JPEG or PNG format showing your code outputting a correct answer to the problem. So basically, whether you're using Replit or Eclipse, you just run your code just like I did right here. And then what you would want to turn in is a screenshot. So if I hit the screenshot key here, I can either screenshot the entire window here, or I can do a box around it, whatever I want, something like that. And so that would need to be saved to a file. So like I have this, I can save that as a file and then submit it. We've done that once before, I think. So if you have any trouble, you can let me know. All right, so that's pretty much it for lab 3. So we just submit your Java file, which you should know how to get your lab 3 Java file by now. If you don't, if you're using Eclipse, then you find the file somewhere, and if you right click on it and go to properties, you can find the location of that file. And if you click the little button on the right, you can open up an Explorer window and you can find your Java file to turn in. So you need to turn in both a screenshot and the Java file. So with that said, since we do have somebody here today, are there any questions about that? Well, all right then. So that will end the lab 3. So what I'm going to do now is this. So first of all, we have until next Monday for you to submit this. I'm going to go ahead and end this video, and then I'm going to have to start up another video in a minute, and then I'll do the lecture for today. Okay, so I'm going to close this, and close Zoom and then restart Zoom in a minute. All right. Oh, I guess I can add the link for the recording too right now.